So how do you install this tile around that fireplace? Okay, so I got this fireplace surround to do. The tile is gonna go all the way around. So, not a big deal if you've got like a big tile, if you've got like a 12 by 24 or even 12 by 12 or whatever, not a big deal. But on here, I have to install this tile here, this mosaic tile. And to get this to go all the way around and connect without pinching grout lines or being off is going to be a huge pain in the ear. That's if you try and put it on one sheet at a time. So how do you install this tile around that fireplace? I'm going to turn these mosaic tiles into big tiles, and I'll show you how to do that. I don't have a lot of thickness here to fool around with, so I'm going to mount this to a sheet membrane so that way I'm not gaining a lot of thickness. But if you've got the room to, if you've got more thickness on yours, you can use a piece of 3/16 inch curdy board or a 1/4 inch curdy board. They make, Ladder Creek makes like a 1/4 inch, Weedy makes like even an 1/8 of an inch, so you can use some version of a foam board for this here. Now this is a gas insert. This does not generate a lot of heat, so it'll be perfectly fine. If this was a fireplace, you probably would want to rethink that. Okay, so I got a piece of the membrane and I taped it because this is only 40 inches wide from there to where the seam is, and my fireplace top to bottom is 46. So I made a piece bigger than I need to be. That's 50 from there to there. This is 58, about 58 from there to there, so it's bigger than I need. Now you could cut strips and use strips to put the tile together, but that's going to be really hard to work with. So I made it bigger so I can actually tape this down. I'm going to flip this over, and then this blue tape, once I've mounted it a couple of days, let it set for a couple of days, I can peel this blue tape off and have panels that I can install. So, I'm going to have to make a template over here. That's why I have this cardboard here. That's to make a template for that. There's a couple of different ways of doing it, but I'm just going to show you how to do it with the cardboard. So I'm going to flip this over, tape it to this cardboard here, then lay out my tile so they get exactly what I need, and then I'm going to cement it onto this membrane and let it sit for a couple of days before I pick it up and I cut it to size for that fireplace using my template. So let's do that. Here, so I'll flip this over. Now I'm going to take this down so it doesn't move. This way, when I spread this out, it's not going to move around, it's not going to bunch up, it's going to stay put.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Okay, so I'm just laying out some reference lines so that I can set my tile down and make sure that I'm straight and square.
Okay, so I had to make it a little bit longer. Hopefully, this one fits. Okay, so now I got it all laid out. So I'm just going to add some more lines so I know where to cement to, and then lay it down, cement it down.
Okay, so I'm using a polymer modified thin set. First, I use the flat side of the trowel to key it in, and then I use the notch side to draw out my notches for the thin set, and making sure that I don't leave any lumps and humps underneath it so it'll sit flat. So don't forget to check the description for links to my Amazon store, some tools and stuff like that, and also to a PDF that I sell if you're interested in that. So don't forget, check out the description and also the end screens and the cards.
Okay, that's it. Now, just have to make the template and transfer it to this. So as you can see, I'm not tight. I have left some space all the way around so that I'm going to show you how I'm going to make that template now. There's all space all the way around. Okay, so as I was marking this template here with my straight edge, I thought I hit the record button, but I didn't. So anyway, I'm just going to show you what I did. Anyway, I didn't cut the cardboard tight to where I needed it to be, because the cardboard is actually not the template. I'm going to use my ruler or my straight edge to make the template. So what you do is you put your straight edge on the area that you want to template. I left about 1/8 of an inch gap between here, between the perimeter of the fire, the gas stove, and also I left a little gap about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So I placed that at about 1/8 of an inch off, and then I mark the entire area all the way around like that. Now I actually had to pull this off because I actually marked my tile as well. So I just put it back on to show you. So I couldn't put it back on exactly. But anyway, so you use your straight edge and you mark all the way across with your marker on both sides. So you bring that all the way around and you mark it all the way around like that. Then you pull that off and you put it on the tile that you need to template. So I'm going to show you that in a second. So I guess I hope I've been clear about this. So you just put your straight edge on. You leave a little gap for a perimeter expansion, and then you get your marker and just mark it all the way across, up and down, all the way up and down, all the way around, top, bottom, etc. and then I mark the top, left, right, and the bottom. So let me show you what's next. You pull your template off, and you put it on the tire. So you position so you use your straight edge to position it exactly where you want it to be, trying to avoid little pieces. Trying to make sure it's square. And then once you've got it in the position that you want it, you just press these down. And that'll stop the template from moving. Now it won't move. It'll stay in place. And then you get your straight edge, you put it on your mark on your cardboard, and then you trace the area that you need onto your tire. So you put your straight edge on the line, and then you mark the other side. And once you do that, that'll give you the exact template for your tile. Now I tried to avoid little pieces. So now when you pull this off, obviously, you don't need that anymore. You pull it off, and now you have all your tile marked and ready to cut. So I cut out the middle of the membrane, and I cut out all the way around just to make it a little more manageable. Now I'm going to cut this into sections and cut it on the wet saw.
Okay, so I'm just numbering the sections so that I know what piece goes with what other piece. That way you don't make a mistake when you put them back together again. Very important to label it.
Two. So that's one panel there. I can peel this tape off the back now. So this is pretty long. I'm going to cut this one in half and that one in half. Okay, so I have it cut into sections. I got it all labeled where all the pieces go and marked up on every single piece. Because once you take this apart, it can be really confusing on where each piece goes. So just make sure you mark it really well. Now I'm going to start cutting it, and you're going to make sure you stay right on the line, cut the line off, but don't go into the body of the tile. Okay, so this is my first piece. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so that's my first piece. Okay. And, okay, so be very careful that you don't make the mistake I made. See this corner here? Like I cut this corner like this. And this one, I made a mistake and cut all the way through. I cut all the way through when I should have made that corner. So don't make the mistake I made, and be very careful. So I got this one right. Now I'm gonna cut this long one. Okay, so I got it all cut. Let's mix some thin set and get it installed over there.
So it is very important to wipe down the area that you're going to be spreading the thin set to make sure that it's clean. You remove all the dust, and then to key in the thin set with the flat side of the trowel. Here I'm using a putty knife because it's a very narrow area, and you do that to both sides of the surface that you're adhering to. So you will do it on the area of the fireplace and also the back of those panels that I'm installing.
I have the bolt here. Okay, so a couple of bolts here. There's a couple more up here. So I have to carve out the back of it a little bit so that this will sit flat. That'll sit flat. Okay, so let's get this piece on. Okay, so that's it. That's the fireplace.